On this episode of What Your Watch Says About You, I'm going to be going over some of my favorite watches and some of my not so favorite watches. The first one I want to talk about is the AP15 500. That is the standard Royal Oak self-winding in stainless steel. Now, whether you have this watch with the simple gray or white dial, or you go all the way to the blue dial, it really doesn't matter, because what this watch says about you is that you are a real watch guy. Because even beyond looking over the whole hype and the crazy prices about watches, I mean, you really gotta like watches to pay $70,000 for a simple Royal Oak, especially when the retail is under $20,000. I mean, you really gotta like watches and you really gotta know about them, because even for somebody like me, I don't know if I want one of those watches at that price. Nevertheless, it also says you have an appreciation for true Henta designs, whether you know that or not. But what it does say is you are a watch guy. So yeah, that's one of the watches I do love. Next is the Hublot Sapphire Takashi Murakami watch. I mean, what does this say about you? This is why you gotta use quality drugs, because this looks to me like a complete acid trip nightmare. I mean, I get it. He is a successful artist and I do like his work. However, I'm not so much of a fan of this particular design that he has. And then when you throw it all in a basket and mix it with Hublot's genius marketing branding, and you have that spinning flower in the background, I mean, talk about a really bad acid trip. I hate it. I don't like it at all. In any color. I don't know, I think the only one that really should be wearing that watch is the actual artist himself. Then it kind of makes a little bit more sense. But I just think overall the watch, it's just not that very appealing. And what it says about you if you're wearing that, well, I don't know. I think it says use better drugs. Now we have the Panerai Bronzo. You know, the Panerai Bronzo is an interesting watch because about 5, 6, 7 years ago, when Panerai was kind of at its peak at that moment, it was one of the most sought after models. People went crazy to age them and make them look as corroded and aged as possible with that green and almost looked like an artifact from the Titanic, which was cool at that time. And yes, they still are an important piece in our history of watch collecting. However, nowadays, when you have one of those watches, what it does say is, like I said earlier about the 15500, you clearly like watches, because trust me, you don't randomly end up with the Panerai Bronzo at this point. Either that, or you're just like a super massive, over-the-top Sylvester Stallone fan, which I highly doubt that as well. But what it says about you is that you bought this watch a long-ass time ago, and you do truly like it. Next, we got the DayDate 40mm rose gold with the olive dial. Also one of my personal favorites. And what this watch says about you when I see it is, your wife is in me DMs, baby. Hit me up on WhatsApp. I mean, all jokes aside, yes, Conor McGregor looks great with this watch, but what does this say about you? This says you got the Mac Daddy rose gold DayDate at the moment. And whether you got it at retail or above retail doesn't really matter, because Lord knows there's many of you at home or out there that had a chance to buy it at retail and passed it up because they said, oh, I don't like the green dial. So it really took somebody with the vision to really say, this green one is gonna be the hot one. Last is the Jacob & Co. Billionaire. I mean, this watch is a complete, incredible work of art. All right, this is a serious piece. However, depending on who's wearing the watch also says different things about you. You could say you have more money than brains, or you have so much money that you don't know what to do with it. But since I haven't seen so many people wearing it except for Mayweather, all I had to say is, does he have really enough money to be wearing this watch? I'm just asking, it's just a question, okay? Because for $18 million for a watch, you really gotta think about the resale value when you go there. I mean, all jokes aside, we're talking about $18 million. All right? For that type of money, you could have bought Paul Newman's Daytona at auction and still have a historical piece that has room to go up. Whereas this Billionaire piece, I'm not really sure. I think this is really more of a piece meant for some prince of a country. Yes, an entire country, okay? Not so much a boxing promotion company. So I'm not really sure what this watch says. What I would really say is you either A, have more money than brains, or B, more money than you know what to do with it. So that's it. Comment below what you think about these 5 watches. And if you like this video, like and share it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel.